Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Black Dragon Tavern. Welcome to episode 15. I'm your host, Dante,
I'm your host, Deacon.
and we're happy to have you here. um, wow, today was like a pretty crappy, tiring day.
Today
It's
sucked.
like, well, I mean, everybody, I guess like everybody's got their own reasons for today's sucking. Mine was pretty shitty. Had the whole tooth thing, the
Yeah, you did.
emergency filling at the dentist there. That was not fun.
No, I don't think it would have been.
But not to drag the show down. I just want to apologize to any viewers out there if I'm like dragging ass tonight or if I'm just kind of like off a little bit. It's
Now it's your turn to be nodding off
yeah,
on camera.
yeah, maybe. I mean, they didn't even give me any good dope or anything to like painkillers or anything like that, and I really bit the hell out of my tongue. I had to have an emergency filling. Filling popped out, an old filling popped out, and I had to go into the dentist and get that refilled. And then while they had me numbed up, I apparently bit down on my tongue pretty hard, and even the dentist looked a little squeamish. She's like, "You might want to keep an eye on that tongue there. You have a little bit of a like bite mark on there, so it's pretty nasty.
Ooh,
And it's on the side, and it's right where my chompers are. So like as
that
I'm eating,
sucks.
it's trying to pull it out of the way. Anyway, couple of shout outs. Thanks to AA Ron for tuning in last week.
Yeah.
He is our number one fan. He's our biggest fan. Like, what was that movie from Stephen King?
Carrie?
Misery.
Misery.
Yeah, I'm your biggest fan.
I looked into the VIP thing, by the way. That's going to be a while off. We need something like. I'm pretty sure we unlock our first VIP slots around that, like, 50 follower mark.
Yes, I did look that up as well. And you got to be an affiliate, and that allows you to do other things like take bits and all kinds of other fun stuff. So you hear that, Twitchverse? We need your fellowship. We need your fellowship of the things. But yeah, like that'd be really cool to make him a VIP. And I know he said don't worry about it, but
We're worried about it.
we're worried about it. That's gonna be
freaking
our
out.
mission.
We're
Yeah.
worrying.
I'm like stressed. I'm shitting a brick about it. But anyway, thanks to AA Ron. Thanks to Chris for tuning in. Thanks for everybody else. Um, yeah, so not much of a recap for last week. I thought I might skip that. There was we played Lord of the Fries, and we had Griffin
yeah.
here again. He was fun to have. Always good humor and good personality, and the game was pretty fun.
It was.
I like that. I
especially the
forgot.
deathmatch.
Yeah, especially the death match. I can't believe that. I can't believe we actually went into overtime and had to have a death match.
I can't
but
believe I was able to play 3 Needle Fajitos.
yeah,
Needle Fajitos.
yeah, I can't remember what it
Something
was,
like
but you were like,
Bam, bam, bam.
yeah, you were getting to be like, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. I'm prepared to die. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. And I was
yeah.
like, stop saying that because you kept laying down that
and
goddamn hand out of your.
the way that I said it every time too. Hey, how do you feel about this?
Yeah,
Hey,
I
how do
know.
you feel about
I
this?
really wanted to reach out and touch someone, like slap you across the table.
Yeah.
But it's all good. So that turned out pretty fun. And again, like I was just about to say, I forgot how much I missed that game. It's a fun game. The replayability on it's pretty good, especially when you add in new decks.
Yeah.
I think
I
we have
wanna-
one more. I think we have the
we
Italian
do?
one. Yeah, I gotta look and see if I still
There's
have
some
the.
fun looking ones in there. I was looking at whatever the pub one was. It was like something McPubbahans.
Oh,
but
in
it
the
had-
rules, yeah,
Well,
the
yeah, they had
expansions.
it
Yeah, I thought
they
you were
have
talking
it
about
all
what we
along-
have in our game closet.
they have them all along the side of the box. So
Yeah.
they have long walks on short pier, cuisine of China,
Uh huh.
the Las Cabezas, which is what we played last night.
Right.
They have McPubbihans, Irish pub and brewery,
Oh, that should be
and
fun.
Gicciaroni's, family style Italian buffet.
Now I think that's the one I might have. I might because I remember buying 2 expansions. Looks like a card fell out of the box
Yeah,
there.
that's what I was just about
But
to grab.
again, it's an oldie but goodie. So like if you're looking for a fun game, little party game, it's a very very fast game to learn, and it has good replayability. Lord of the Fries, not Lord of the Flies like the novel, but Lord of the Fries, and you play basically
Jesus. It's
a
hard to hold
zombie-
something up to here.
yeah,
I'm
a
all
zombie
backwards.
fast food crew uh, working the late night shift at your local fast food joint. So yeah, definitely check it out. But so speaking of like late night shifts and working shit jobs and that, Clerks 3 wrapped up. The filming wrapped up on that. Did you like that segue?
I was thinking like, Are you gonna talk about your job or mine?
No, no, I love my job. I love, we're not gonna again, like,
Yeah.
don't say any names on camera. I don't want to run afoul of any, like, community standards on their behalf. But anyway, Clerks 3.
Yeah, I saw that. They finished
So
filming.
finished filming just about 24 hours ago now, around like midnight Eastern time, I believe, in Leonardo, New Jersey. Leonardo, New Jersey. I realize I slurred that whole thing together, and I'm not even on painkillers. But yeah, so Kevin Smith and the crew, they took a production picture and tweeted it out to everybody, and in their Jay and Silent Bob. See, I said Jay and Silent Bob, not Silent Bob and Jay.
Yeah.
Characters, and then some of the other crew. Rosario Dawson, I don't believe was in the picture though that they shot, although she's in the film.
Yeah.
And so are a lot of the original crew that were there. So that's exciting, and I guess it's going to be a while in production, post production, so they do editing and everything. So we won't even be able to see a trailer for a little while yet. But
I'm surprised.
And then let alone a release date, which is what I'm really like waiting for.
Yeah.
It's one thing I would probably suit up and mask up and go to the theaters to see, just because
Totally.
I'm getting so fucking stir crazy of
Clerks
staying in the
3,
house.
Can't miss that.
You know.
Speaking of release dates, any news about Cowboy Bebop? The live action?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know what made you think we're going to talk about Cowboy Bebop. I mean, it's not like,
It's not
we
like
had
it's the title of the
a bumper
episode.
event cover for that, Yeah, and incidentally, if you haven't seen the Facebook cover, go to Facebook. I put a whole lot of work into that cover. I was kind of proud of it. Yeah, we do have some Cowboy Bebop, or I should say I do have some Cowboy Bebop news coming up. But I'm going to hang on to that because there's a whole bunch of it. So I was going to tease
fun.
I was going to tease that for a little while, and then people will be like, "Hey, I thought you were going to talk about Cowboy Bebop." So, yes, we will. We will definitely talk about that. One thing though, we were talking, we just had dinner with our neighbors the other night, and that was kind of cool. Got to meet our next door neighbors that just moved in a couple months ago, and went over there for dinner, and they cooked out some really bomb ass tacos.
They did.
Shout out to Zach, and big thank you to Molly for hosting that. And he made that really good, the carnitas and the chicken.
Chicken was nice.
Yeah, and I don't quite know if that was chicken tinga or not. Like I said, like my family, we never had like chicken tinga. I think that was like made up in the last couple of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it is like.
I mean, you just made chicken.
But then again, like they're different foods from different regions. So
That's
like
true.
our family, we were from the north, and so norteños. So all the food styles that they ate were a whole lot of steer, a whole lot of beef, and pig, carnitas, the puerco. But like if you're down in Acapulco or the coastal region, you're eating a lot of camarones, a lot of shrimp and stuff, and pescado, fish.
Yep.
So.
Oh, I know those from places around town.
Yeah, those from the menus, huh?
Yeah. It's a good way to learn.
Yeah. But anyway, I got sidetracked on that. So we were talking about different games and stuff like that, and it's sort of like I was thinking about that conversation, and I went online, and I was realizing like I haven't seriously played video games in so long, because I like literally had half my soul sucked away from staying online for hours on end, for nights on end, weeks on end, months on end, to the point where like your mom and I were sort of like roommates instead of husband and wife, but
Now, which
I
game was
played
that? Was that when we were playing Minecraft or Diablo?
Yes, and Skyrim, and
Skyrim, and
like there was a
Oblivion.
whole bunch of Assassin's Creed. I played those back to back to back to back to back. But so I started reading a lot of game news again today, and one thing that really jumped out at me that I thought was really kind of cool, which is a flip on things, which seems to be the way a lot of things are going today, is there's a game called Blades in the Dark. Have you heard of this? Came out in 2017, and it sounded really cool. And it's your typical dingy, rundown, gritty RPG, fantasy RPG that takes place in like a pseudo-Victorian London. And you assemble a crew of thieves, and like a gang of thieves, and ruffians. And then you're going up against other gangs who are more powerful than you. Not only that, you're going up against souls of the dead, to vie for like control of the city. And it sounded kind of neat.
That does sound kind of cool.
It was like So it's based on this game that was released in 2017, and it's actually going to be made into a TV series.
Hmm.
So it was described in Polygon as like Peaky Blinders mixed with Ocean's 11 and seasoned with gothic horror.
Hmm.
So I saw the original, I can't think it was Ocean's 7 or maybe it was Ocean's 11. I think that was a remake of an old movie, and I saw it so long ago and I barely remember it. But Ocean's 11 got like all kinds of kudos because it had I think it had Brad Pitt, George Clooney, a whole bunch of people in there, and people are like, ah, such a good movie. Anyway, I didn't even bother to see it. I didn't really have any interest in it. And I didn't watch, I think I watched a couple of episodes of Gothic, the series. And there was American Gothic too, or American horror stories. I can't remember now.
Do they?
But
Don't they just mean like gothic horror?
no, Gothic with capital G. So like I said, they said Peaky Blinders
Okay.
mixed
I
with
thought they
Ocean's
just
11
meant
and
like.
seasoned with Gothic horror. Like
Okay,
the horror.
I thought you meant like gothic
Maybe
horror
they
as a
mean Gothic
subject.
horror. I don't know, but I took it in the if so, it was a poorly written headline because like later in the article they talk about actually I think it was a TV series that they talk about it. But anyway, there was the frustrating thing was there was no release date. There was no streaming source, no release date. No info on when it was going to be available. Hopefully, it'll be early 2022. Usually, by the time these stories break, they're already in production. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. But that seems to be the trend now. Like everybody's taking tabletop games and turning them into
Yeah.
full on films. Didn't they? Wasn't there a World of Warcraft movie at one point, or talk of a movie or a series?
I don't know.
I thought there was. I thought they were going to do that. I'm surprised they haven't. It was such a big franchise, such a big moneymaker.
Speaking of things that are filming or in production or being done filmed, this is pretty old news at this point, but I'm excited for it anyways. I just rewatched it and then started watching it immediately again with Griffin. But Peaky Blinders season 6, it's done filming.
Finally, after
Yeah.
all the COVID quarantine holdups and all that,
Yeah.
I know Killian, I think his name, right? Killian Murphy,
Yeah,
the one that plays Thomas Shelby. I can't do his voice, but oh my god, he's so quiet. Anyway, he I think was adamant about safety on the set, and
Yeah.
I think he actually walked off early at one point because people weren't wearing masks and that. There were a lot of stories, a lot of gossip in that, and again, this is before we were streaming, so I was only very loosely paying attention to these stories that were on the periphery of shows your mom and I were watching at the time. But yeah, that'll be exciting.
yeah.
And of course, the sad news that the actress who plays Polly died earlier this year, and that really fucking
She was
sucks.
a great actor.
Well, not only that, she had one of the most kick-ass characters
Yeah.
on television. Like,
Oh, totally.
fucking just strong, independent, intelligent, wily. Like, she was awesome. Her character was the bomb. She kicked ass and took names. So, R.I.P. to. I'll have to look her name up now. I should have looked it up before the show. But I didn't think we were going to be talking about it that much, just off the one reference.
Yeah.
But it is a good show.
It is, yeah, and it's gonna be a crazy season. They're going into, I think, I'm not exactly sure when it takes place. They haven't confirmed that, but it's gonna be later than season 5, obviously, and it's gonna be around 1929 and 1930. Oh
No, because
no,
they ended
it's
as
gonna be
the start of
as
World
the-
War II.
Well, they
when
ended.
fascism was starting
Yeah.
to take root. The brown shirts.
Well, yeah.
The stock market had crashed.
it's
So
the
they're
first episode of that
gonna
season.
be going well into that. I think
They are, because one of the promotional posters that they did or whatever, Tommy had a MP40 that he was carrying.
Ooh,
So it had to be like during the war.
I wonder if he enlists again.
That's a good question. I don't think they would do that because.
I read an article.
Well, if it takes place after the war, then he might have.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I read an article that this might be the end of Thomas Shelby. Like, This might be the
Yeah,
season where
this
he's
is they've
killed or dies off
I
or
think
something.
they've confirmed that this is the final season, just in
Yeah.
total. So
So
I
you know it's
wouldn't
going to be big and bad, and you
Yeah.
know it can't have a happy ending like
Yeah.
a show like that.
I just want to see
Um,
Oswald Mosley go.
Yeah,
That's like the one thing. That cliffhanger that they ended on.
yeah.
I'm not going to spoil it because somebody watching might not have seen it yet, but that was a crazy season
Yeah.
finale, and it's
I mean,
like,
the detective, right, from Belfast,
no,
Oswald. Oh, the
the
fascist.
fascist.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
'Cause-
prick.
Because you remember where they ended. I don't want to spoil it, but you remember where they ended in the 5th season.
I remember. Okay, I'm not going to give away any hints, but I remember him like being really connected and pulling a whole lot of strings and pushing Tommy's buttons, and Tommy was also doing the same thing. Like they were playing off of each other,
Yeah.
and at the end, I remember there's a heist of Russian jewels.
Oh, that was the season before.
Was it the
Mhm.
season before?
That was the
Okay,
season before.
I remember they tried an assassination. God, I did it, didn't I?
Well, cat's out of the bag now. they
I'm
they
sorry.
ended
I'm
on.
sorry. I mean, come on, people. This is like
Yeah.
over a year old or over 2 years old or however long it's been
So
out now.
they ended
But-
on. I mean, people are still yelling at people for posting like Game of Thrones season 8
Yeah,
spoilers.
like
and,
Barbarella back in the '60s. It's like
yeah.
what? Anyway,
Dude, you haven't seen A New Hope yet? What is wrong?
yeah,
How are you gonna complain about
Yeah.
spoilers?
exactly.
But yeah, they left off in that big theater, or that big stage area indoors where
Yes. Yeah,
he tried to assassinate Oswald.
That's why I say
Mosley,
the
and
assassination.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
um,
assassination attempt. Yep, and it was a bloodbath.
everything
Yeah,
went wrong.
yeah.
Um,
I totally remember that.
yeah. So that's a hell of a cliffhanger. So I cannot wait to see where they go with the next one.
Yeah, for sure. Especially because it ties so much into history that is really close to our family.
Mhm.
The Second World War.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, Blade. I'll come bringing it
Yeah,
all the way
all the way
back.
back.
Blades in the Dark. So I don't know what to tell you. Keep an eye out. Keep an ear out for that. But I might try to look up that game on Steam and see if it's still available. I mean, because at the very least, that might be fun to play. But I want a good series. I'm pounding on the table. Probably going to hear that on the mic pretty solidly. This is a really solid table. Anyway.
Yeah, sneak peek into the
Yeah,
there.
exactly. It's a good mic.
It is, yeah.
We're not going to drop the name of it because we're not getting sponsored by them or anything. But if they want to drop us a sponsorship,
Are they
we'd
gonna
be
drop us
happy
a
to.
sponsorship if we
Yeah,
don't know?
yeah, it's like a catch-22. Anyway, so yeah, Blades in the Dark. Speaking of games now, okay, now I didn't do game to movie, but this next topic, they did do a movie, or they are doing a movie, or they're doing an animated series and a whole bunch of stuff, comic books. It's getting everything basically is getting rebooted effectively, and if it's not a reboot, then it's getting new material, and that's D&D. But I read an interesting article. Did I write the source of this one down? No. So I'll post it up on the Discord server later. But effectively, this article was more of an opinion piece, and the author had titled it something like D&D rules that shouldn't be a part of D&D's Dungeons and Dragons rules that shouldn't be a part of D&D's 6th edition.
Okay.
So again, it's an op-ed piece. There's a lot of speculation and a lot of opinion. There's no hard facts in there other than quoting a little bit from the 5th edition rules book.
Yeah.
But there's no sort of like, 6th will be out and such, because they're saying it was this author's opinion that basically when they come out with this, there are several things that they should scrap. And, I'm always hesitant to when people start going, oh, you should dump this, you should dump that. I always get the feeling of why? So you can nerf the game more? But it was interesting. So a couple of things they brought up were exhaustion, the rule on exhaustion, and they were saying how effectively it's a useless stat. Nobody really, it really bogs the game down, and it can be kind of a pain in the ass. And those are my words, but this is what I got out of the article. Another thing was they got into combat a little bit, and they were talking about Here, let me put my glasses on. Sucks getting old. So they talked about, again, this is an opinion piece, so you have to take it with a grain of salt, kind of like you do with tequila. Exhaustion and cover as a tactic in combat. And
Yeah.
they were talking about how, like, it kind of boggles combat a little bit because with, like, minimal cover, you get a plus this or plus that, which makes it, easier to hide and not get hit, harder to get hit. Um, and they were talking about just getting rid of that to make combat move faster.
Yeah, and
And
also it's kind of like I don't get how you'd really be getting into cover in like melee combat, especially in D&D. If you're like locked in a sword fight, you're like right up close to somebody. Are you just gonna like vault
well,
over a thing, hide behind a box while they like swing a mace
yeah,
at
you're
you?
thinking you're thinking toe to toe melee combat, but remember you got spellcasters,
That's true.
you have sneak thieves,
But then there's also
who use ranged weapons a lot, might want to shoot
like
from behind a
okay,
crate.
ranged weapons I could understand, but spellcasters would be weird. Like you can't be standing fully behind something because you need to be able to see
No,
whoever.
but you can poke around and go
That's true. I guess it depends
abracadabra,
on like what it is that you're in cover behind.
Yep,
But
abracadabra,
I don't think
cadabra, Walla Walla, Washington.
I don't think I've
I
ever
never saw them
seen.
Looney Tunes.
I don't think I've ever seen cover used in a D&D game in combat, unless it was like taking cover out of action before an ambush starts.
Yeah, I think in Dante's game I've only used it once or twice. It's just not really.
Oh, we've
It's
used
not
it.
really that worth it. Like
I was gonna say we've used it a few times, and like
if you're in an ambush, if you're hiding, if
yeah,
you're
if we're like hiding or
But
if
there's
we're
the
just
hide
in,
skill for that. So
yeah,
that's was kind of the author's point was, if you're trying to do that as like an action to hide, they've got that already. One of the other things that I found interesting, which is of special note to me, was he was suggesting reworking death rather than outright removing it, which I thought, okay, that's a good call. Because it's in there now as a mechanic, but it's like significantly underutilized. And in fact, in the words of the author, uh, instead of removing it, try to make the mechanic quote more significant than it is in current practice end quote. And I kind of agree with that. Like, I think there are a lot of people who get hung up on their character dying, and I'm going to say something that's going to be really controversial. Probably have people write in and go, "Oh, that sucks," or that's bullshit, or you know what, your character can die. I mean, your character should have the potential to face death in the game
yeah.
because otherwise what's the point in, like, you're immortal and you never die, and they already have resurrection, they have all these different spells and things, and they have new rules on that now to bring you back to life, so it's already kind of like you don't have to really worry about it. We do the same thing in my game, in Dante's game. Death is an option, or not an option, it's a possibility.
I mean,
Death
death
is
is
an
an
option.
option.
Yeah. Are you in debt? Yeah. Are you or a loved one suffering from
That's,
sucky character? We can help you with that. Death is an option. Um, but anyway, it's a possibility, and I try to get people, in my session 0, I talk to people about that and try to get them to understand that this could happen. If it does, it's not the end of the world, because there are fate points. So we have fate points as a way to mitigate that. Other players could use their fate points to mitigate your death, if they're feeling especially generous. Oh, here I go. I'm going to start yawning. My apologies. And then, resurrection, which is like difficult to come by and expensive, but it's an option. So that was fascinating to see. And again, I'll post a link up on Discord to that article, and tell us what you think. Tell us what you think, if you agree that these rules that they call out specifically in this article should be removed.
I think that makes sense. What
Yeah.
you said there.
So this is kind of some of these themes are a little old. Like, going back to Clerks, going back to a game that happened in 2017 that's getting turned into a movie. D&D is like maybe the only forward-looking article I read because it talks about 6th edition. But this one was kind of interesting. I think you might have mentioned something about this before. Godfather of Cyberpunk, William Gibson, will be the subject of a new Alien 3 novel written by his friend and Hugo Award winner Pat Cardigan.
Hmm.
And so now this is kind of funny. I had to reread this article twice because I was like, oh, William Gibson's writing a screenplay for Alien 3. No, wait a minute, that already happened. Okay, wait a minute. He's writing a novel about the screenplay that he wrote for. No, wait a minute. Somebody else is writing a novel about William Gibson writing a screenplay for an Alien movie that happened years ago.
That's
And I was
weird.
like, oh my God. Okay.
So what's the point of that? You read about him writing?
Exactly. So, effectively, it's like. So Gibson, along with a couple other writers, had taken a crack at writing the Alien 3 screenplay. And apparently they got passed over. And this author, Cardigan, feels it's necessary to revivify, resurrect that screenplay through this novel. And the novel is called Alien 3. You ready? Big surprise, okay? Ready for this? See if you can guess what it is.
Alien 3 Resurrection.
No. Alien 3, the unproduced screenplay by William Gibson. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Talk about awkward. But, I'd still be interested to see what Gibson's screenplay reads like. So, because it was passed over for the film, but interestingly enough, it was picked up subsequently by Dark Horse Comics and turned into a comic and also an audiobook.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's one thing I never got into that much, audiobooks.
Yeah, they're weird.
I don't know necessarily that they're weird. I think I just never,
Yeah. No,
when I'm driving long distance or whatever, I don't know. I'd rather have music. So, what else
Well, the
is
funny
cooking?
thing is, I could never get into audiobooks, but I love having stuff like. Sorry, could never get into audiobooks, but I love having stuff like podcasts on in the background whenever I'm. Oh God, I can't talk today. Whenever I'm doing stuff.
Yeah, like when you're painting at the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's, again, we've talked about this and we've harped on this in the first couple of episodes here on Twitch, but it's a suck not to be able to have any music playing while we're working on the bench. And I never really did look into stream beats. I don't know, there's just something about that didn't feel right, or I wasn't still very comfortable with the idea of playing music because, who knows what's going to happen, like somebody calling a DMCA strike against you or something, even though it's royalty-free music that can be played. So anyway, yeah, Alien 3, the unproduced screenplay by William Gibson, as written by, I believe it was Pat Cardigan. I'd be curious to see what that comic was like, if that's still around. Speaking of comics, and it hasn't even been released yet as a live action series. Here it comes. You excited?
Is this it? Is this where you? Yeah.
This could be the jump.
Is
This
this
could
the
be the
jump?
jump point. Cowboy Bebop is getting its own comic series
Oh, that's cool.
and a prequel novel
And a prequel.
and a
novel.
coffee table art
And a-
book.
Coffee table art book.
Yeah.
Hmm.
This has all the makings of like a series jump in the shark before it's even out. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, call me a skeptic, call me negative. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll suck, donkey balls, I don't know.
I don't think you're being negative. I just
Um,
don't think there's ever been like a good live action anime thing.
Well, this is true from a lot of perspectives. I hear a lot of people talk about that. I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, 2 words, Death Note. But
Yeah, that.
so
that's-
I guess the whole thing is like, Cowboy Bebop, the original anime, was groundbreaking, and that's no stretch of the term. It was truly groundbreaking for a number of reasons. The storyline and the characters were engaging. The genre was hard to pinpoint because you had a little bit of detective noir, you had a little bit of western in there, you had the space opera, you had all these different elements that came together, action, and they came together to make a really good.
By comedy, romance,
Yeah, there were
What
all
else?
these different
Drama.
things. Yep.
crime thriller.
Yeah, detective noir,
mob,
dark detective
like
genre.
mob stuff,
Yeah.
all cyberpunk, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. And they didn't necessarily there were some common threads that tied the series together, but what I liked about it was like every episode had some different story, like a little vignette within it,
Yeah.
but still at some point the main thread carried through. So this new series, this prequel novel, it's from Titan, and they announced they're going to be producing a series of books that allegedly tie into the series, but they didn't really specify if it was the live action series, but I think it was a live action series if I read that correctly. And that's going to be releasing later this year. The first edition comes out in November, and it's called Cowboy Bebop, A Syndicate Story, Red Planet Requiem. And the novel follows Spike and Vicious's friendship and partnership before they became mortal enemies. So they used to apparently like travel galaxy.
Yeah, because they were in like they were in the same gang.
Yeah, they were in the Yakuza or whatever, right? And they were basically in the mob. So that would be interesting to see how that relationship came about and why it went sour. We kind of got some hints in Cowboy Bebop as to why, but
he tried to quit.
yeah,
Because he can't remember what her
Spike
name was.
did.
Yeah. Because he fell in love with that woman in the show, you remember? And he tried to quit so that he could marry her or whatever. But, you can't quit the mob.
Yeah.
So.
But for his friend to turn so hardcore against him, like I wonder if there was more to it than that than what they were able to
that's just
convey
in the show.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So maybe they'll build on that. And then in December, a 4-issue comic series, the Cowboy Bebop comic series from Dan Waters, who I guess did Lucifer and Homesick Pilots. I don't know either one of those comics, but that's when that series is going to release. And that series allegedly follows the, quote, events of the show, end quote. But again, the article didn't specify which, the live action show or the original anime.
Yeah.
So again, very frustrating. But again, like if it's a four comic series, I wonder if they're going to be thicker editions, rather than your standard pulp comic that comes out every week, which would be interesting. I'll take a look at it. Maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. I don't know. It just depends. Again, I get kind of picky about that kind of stuff, just because, like if it's about the series, I don't know if I'd be interested in it. Like I'd want to see the series first and see, is it worth having a comic? Because if it were about the original anime, it'd be maybe collectible at that point. And then it would be like, okay, this is worth having. And the last book to release will be in early 2022, and it's tentatively called Cowboy Bebop, Making the Netflix Series. And I am not shitting you.
Wait,
Cowboy
you're
Bebop.
not?
Cowboy Bebop, Making the Netflix Series. And it's by Jeff Bond, and it'll be a hardcover coffee table book that includes concept art and production of photography from the live action series.
Okay, see, when you said like a coffee table art book, I was kind of excited, because if it's an art book of like the anime, that would be pretty fucking cool. Like, you get all the concept art from that, But the live action?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So there will be concept art in here from the live action series. And then the production photography as well from the live action series.
That's
And again,
ridiculous.
I'm not really like I like John Cho. I like the actors they have and actresses they have picked out and lined up for the series, but it's putting the cart before the horse. Or like I said, as I started off, like preemptively jumping the shark. I mean, it's like another way for Netflix to capitalize, because they're going to be making a royalty off of it because their name's mentioned and it's all their IP.
Yeah.
I mean, the Netflix Cowboy Bebop, the Netflix series. They should. Shinichiro Watanabe, is that the original producer or creator of Cowboy Bebop? I would love it if they swooped in and said, no. Just no.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they need to be told. No. Because, I mean, why?
Yeah.
It's just It's ridiculous.
That is
It's
so ridiculous.
I mean, I get that they're gonna, I get they're pumping all the money into the live action series, but that's just a little ridiculous.
It is.
Interestingly enough, though, amidst all the buzz about Cowboy Bebop, the actor John Cho recently responded to fan concerns that this is gonna make my blood pressure go up. This is because this is a topic that like really irritates me. He is too old to play the part, and right or wrong, he had some really good answers to it.
How old is he?
I think he's in his 40s. So
Seriously?
Spike, I don't know that they put an age on Spike in the series, Spike Spiegel, but
They did, and I can't remember what it was. He's pretty old.
Spike?
Yeah, from what I remember.
Well, that's not what the fandom thinks. So why don't you look that up while we're talking about
I might just be getting it wrong, but
So people are like, "Oh, you're too old to play Spike. He was young," and he's like, "Well, the anime was." It was drawn, it was illustrated, and he kind of looks young, but I mean,
oh yeah, estimated age 27.
okay, that's why John Cho mentioned 27. So what he said was, and I thought this was really good. So he worked his ass off. He worked out to get into shape for this because and in the opening, well, at least in the anime, like remember when Spike has his shirt off and he's working out and he's doing all the martial arts. So John Cho said, I had to take my shirt off for this opening segment. I was a little uncomfortable, so I wanted to make sure I was in functional shape rather than like cosmetic shape. So he's not like six packed out, but he's in good shape. So, and he said he knew people were going to ask about that and express concern. But he said he did work out to get ready for the part, but his age gives him an advantage in that he brings a life of experience and temperance to the character, whereas if he were in his 20s or 30s, he couldn't have, quote, done justice to the emotional depth we tried to give Spike in the series. And that also that, quote, what I'm better at, being older, is showing weakness, vulnerability, and love. Those things are more accessible to me. Personally, I'd prefer the version I'm able to do now. So good for you, John Cho. Screw ageism. Like, I think that's true. Like as he's bringing sort of temperance to the role, whereas like if he were younger, 20, 30 years younger, of course then if he's in his 40s, he'd be 10 or 20, 20 or 30 years. But if you were half his age, like let's just say half his age, he might not have that life experience to bring that temperament to the role, and he might be too cocky and too, the term cocksure, right? Like too sure of himself, and it'll come through on the role. And that was the one thing about Spike in the anime was he was super fucking cool. He was just so chill about everything.
I think that's kind of what I'm worried about with the show overall. Is like, I'm worried in a way that they're just gonna make it like just action comedy space opera and not like the anime where it's character driven and they really go into the characters,
Right. And that seems to be the bane of a lot of films and TV shows and whatnot. They give you a thumbnail sketch of these fantastic characters, and then they move on, and you're like, but what about? And you don't get any of the questions answered about like what made them who they are. So, and this again goes back to the groundbreaking sort of like phenomenon of Cowboy Bebop in that. There was a lot of emotion expressed in there, and like granted, it's animation, and you can only do so much with the faces.
Through the storytelling.
But it's exactly right, through the storytelling and through the way they edited the cells and scenes in that, like you could see like if they were really contemplating a thought, or if there was pressure, or if there was danger, and it came through really well.
I think,
and the music and everything tied into that too. It's hard to dissect it, one section of it, without relating, another part of it.
Yeah, I think part of it has to do with the way they drew it as well, with a whole bunch of like, especially in the more tense scenes, with a whole bunch of close-ups of their faces. Because when you do like, especially in a drawing, well, specifically in a drawing, when you do like a close-up of somebody's face, you can really kind of like almost exaggerate the expressions or whatever, like you can add in like an eye twitch if they're like really looking
Yeah.
at something, you know, whereas that might just look like a little mess up in the animation somewhere else.
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. Like in Cowboy Bebop, you could tell that it's an eye twitch. Like
Yeah.
it's like he's pissed.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh, is that like a jump in the
Hmm.
still
Exactly.
or whatever?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we are just about hitting an hour. It should be about 8:45.
Really?
Time, yeah.
It's already that time,
8:40. Well, 8:40. So I was so close. I was trying to think of like when did we start and what time would 8:45
Yeah.
be?
I didn't have my watch on either. I guess I got my phone over here, but I haven't really been watching it.
I was gonna say, at about an hour we should be at 8:40. So, what do you think? Call a 15-minute break now and then start the workbench section a little early, or try to figure out something to say for the next 5 minutes?
I wasn't really worried about like filling the next 5 minutes, but apparently
do you have stuff still? That looked like your last one.
Well, I mean, you just sort of cut off right there at the we're talking about Cowboy Bebop, and you sort of cut that off. So I was just going to keep going
I
because
thought we were done.
well, I'm done with the notes, but like that doesn't mean the conversation has to stop right there.
No, but I meant like I thought specifically you were done in that conversation because it kind of hit like a
No.
Oh.
No, you were talking about animation. You were talking about like how you can express emotion. Like you talked about the Twitch, and I was just gonna jump right back in there. But then you said hey, so. But yeah, I mean like so for those of you tuning in for the first time, thank you and welcome. Don't lurk. Don't be a lurker. Come on in and say hi in the chat. I almost don't be a creeper. But anyway, we do every Friday and Saturday. We do this show live from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central at Black Dragon Tavern here on Twitch. And on Fridays, we do the first half of the show, Fireside Chat. And then the second half of the show, we do from the Workbench, where we'll be doing painting and kit bashing of models and minis and all kinds of hobby-related stuff. And then on Saturdays, we do Fireside Chat for the first half of the show. And the second half of the show, we bring you from the Battle Zone, which is also known as our gaming table. And last week, like I mentioned earlier in the segment, we played Lord of the Fries. And we're talking about doing, what we're talking, Memoir 44?
Memoir 44, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about doing a game from a company called Days of Wonder. They make fantastic games. And tomorrow we'll probably want to play Memoir 44. It's a World War II era game.
What did you say? It's like a strategy game?
It's a turn-based card game, turn-based strategy game played with cards, command cards, and it does have some miniatures, so you're moving pieces around the board.
I could paint those up.
And effectively, yeah, you could paint tiny 6mm or 15mm, probably 15 mils are bigger. No, maybe they are 15 mil. Anyway, I would say it's almost like historical reenactment too, because the scenarios in the book are based on actual scenarios that happened in World War II, like Pegasus Bridge, the what was the name of the forest?
The Argonne?
Yeah, the Argonne. Yeah. So it's got a whole bunch of stuff. There's Normandy in there, so you can play the D-Day invasion on the beach, and I actually have the board, 2 boards long, the beachfront on it, and
that's kind of cool.
The water. Yep.
Do that.
Yeah, I think that might require a little more prepping, and I don't know if I want to do that between now and then.
Table space or whatever.
Not too much, not too much in terms of length or width, but look, we've got enough room. It's just the expansion I'm worried about. I have the Russian front too. I think. It introduces like T-88s, the Russian tanks. Is that the right?
T-34s.
T-34s.
Yeah, like the really mass-produced
What am I thinking
one?
of T-88?
Terminator?
No, maybe it was a Star Wars thing. I can't remember. TK-427 or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know. I'm in pain.
T-88 structural epoxy adhesive.
Yeah, no.
That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. T-34s then maybe is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because
like I said, I'm no hardcore nerd like that. Not that there's anything wrong with being a hardcore nerd, but I just don't know that shit, and I haven't committed it to memory because I got better things to do with that slice of my brain.
Yeah.
Like,
So
remember these stupid fucking TV jingles from my
yeah,
childhood.
yeah. So I was gonna say it's got to be T34s. Those are the mass-produced ones because all I'm getting for T88 is structural adhesive and Lodine 400 milligram pills. So
All right. How do you spell that?
I
No, never
love
mind. Don't do it. Don't want to. Don't want to
spell it
mention
T hyphen.
yeah,
You know what
88.
a hyphen is? 34.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
Or,
I just
88.
so much control
Mhm.
right now to hold my hand down here and not just let it fly. It's that's child abuse. I would not do that. I love my son dearly,
Yep.
but I know where he lives.
Yes, because I live here in this basement, in this room all the time, constantly
Pretty
painting.
much at the workbench,
Mhm.
on the show, in between the show,
Yep.
after work, for work, and oh my god, I gotta stop yawning.
So
That going back to what I was saying at the beginning of the segment about the whole tooth thing, that just took it right out of me.
yeah,
I didn't know what they were gonna do. I was just hoping they were gonna numb me out, and like I was kind of hoping secretly that they would fix it, and they did, and I'm glad of that. But like
you know,
getting your jaw shot full of
yeah,
Novocaine, and then like getting your tooth drilled
getting
into.
a shot full of
And then the-
whiskey
and
before
then
they
the-
pull out the pliers.
Yeah, that's
and
not the right kind of
hammer.
shot. I told them that. She said, "How does that taste?" Like she had the swab with
Mhm.
the anesthesia, and I go, I don't remember having these. I don't remember these having any kind of like flavor before. She goes, "This is a mint one. Is it a good mint?" I was like, "Would you like me to be nice, or would you like me to be honest?" She goes, and I'm like, "No, not really, And then she said, "Well, there's like berry,
Mhm.
and there's like pineapple. I go, no, pineapple would be good. Just put a little coconut in there, and if you had a little bit of rum to chase it with, and then they laughed. So, but yeah, that was totally like, and then she goes, okay, little pressure here, and I'm going in with a shot, and I'm like, when she finished, I'm like, these aren't the kind of shots I want to be slamming right now, to be quite honest with you, But then she had to go back and do it again because she came back in about 10 minutes after the anesthesia kicked in, and then started drilling. I couldn't feel anything until she hit the spot where I could feel something, and I jumped like that, and she had to stop the drill. She like took her finger off the pressure button or whatever and pulled it out of my mouth. And she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not okay." It's like that part of the tooth or whatever. She's okay. I'm so sorry. Went back in. This is the first time in like years that's happened, because they're basically a no pain dentist.
Yeah.
Dentistry, I think. And in all like seriousness and fairness to them, in all fairness, to be fair, I fucking hate that saying, but
I'm just gonna keep
full
saying
disclosure though, they've been absolutely fantastic about taking care of our family. I'm not going to drop their name here because again, like
that. Not sponsored.
yeah, they're not sponsored, so
Give us a sponsorship.
yeah. But if they'd like to give us a sponsorship, I'll be
Yeah.
paying my next bill in a week or two.
If you want to send us free tools to use at the workbench,
I did ask the doctor about
Yeah.
that, and they were going to put some aside for me, but then the quarantine hit, and I was
Yeah, I
never able
remember
to do that.
that.
And this is the funny thing is like we haven't seen you in forever. I'm like, hello, quarantine, and then one of the nurses remembered, or one of the practitioners or whatever hygienist said, "Oh, and you're in the high risk category, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She said, "I saw that in your chart," and I was like, creepy,
I don't
So-
think so. I mean, they put just maybe
Well,
like a note, like high
yeah.
risk before you come in. Just so
Yeah,
that
I
you
guess
know,
maybe if they're gonna give me anesthesia. Plus, they were doing this thing. They had to put a brace around my neck, a lead shield thing or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because they were doing the
X-rays.
big like, it's a big gun. It's like a big bolter is what it looks like. Then they take the X-ray of the tooth. So, but yeah, that took it right out of me. So I'm looking forward to maybe actually like a stiff drink after after the stream, and then bed, and then just like, count sheep for the rest of the night.
Yeah, and hey, enjoy the long weekend. Labor Day is on Monday, so
That's
I don't have to
right.
work. You don't have to work.
Yeah.
I don't have school.
What can we
so
do? What can we do? What can we film? What can we do? What can we shoot for YouTube?
I can. Oh, I could spend so much time sleeping in and like.
You could do your taste test. The taste test you were
Yeah.
talking about putting up on YouTube.
Just take
And
me
then
out.
you'll be making a trip to the dentist after that.
Yeah, I mean, if you take me out and if you pay for all of them, then totally,
Oh.
yeah.
It's all in the name of the show.
Hmm.
So if you'd like to leave a tip, it'll go towards the filming of a very funny taste test.
It will. And okay, I'm waiting for a bit just to see if you have anything more to say. With that out of the way, do you want to move over to the workbench now that I know that the conversation was over
See,
there?
you got to find that rhythm, dude. You got to find that, like, like you said it will. And yeah, then he like jumped right to like, okay, let's
Hmm.
cut it off. Smooth. You got to like do that smooth transition.
Yeah, so
But I
that's
mean,
why
yeah.
I
So like,
gave it some time to check to see if it was
it's
over.
it's 10 till. So we're coming up on the top of the hour, 9 o'clock, and like we usually do, we take a 15-minute break here. We don't have any hold music, but we do have a nice little
No, we do not.
intermission screen with a timer. So run, get yourself a drink, get yourself a sandwich, whatever turns you on, and we'll be back in 15 minutes from the workbench. See you then.
See you then.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Black Dragon Tavern. I'm your host, Dante,
I'm your host, Deacon.
and we're bringing you this segment of the show from the Workbench, where tonight I will be continuing my endeavor to get these gobos finished. And if you're
Yeah.
wondering why it's taking me so long, it's because I don't paint in between streams, so I really should, but I've got a lot of stuff going on right now with a new job and all that, so this is kind of my downtime, my hobby time, the weekends. So yeah, there's that. What are you working on?
I am working on these Death Guard.
Yeah.
So, back when we were just getting into 40K, we picked up some of the starter sets. You know, First Strike, No Fear, all of them. And you didn't want to. You didn't want to play. You didn't want to start an army. You didn't want to
This is
do
true.
any of that. And
Our viewers may recall that
yeah,
I like happily mentioned the fact that I had avoided 40K for like 30 years.
instead of 40K in 40 minutes, it's 40K away for 40 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Away from 40K. It's
so
expensive.
It is expensive, yeah. So, because it was expensive, you didn't want to start an army, and
This
I
is
didn't
true.
want to pay for one either. So, the deal that we kind of reached was,
We would
you would
Hit the family up for birthday gifts and Christmas gifts.
for
Thank you,
my
Grandpa.
army at least. And
Thank you, Uncle Matt.
Yeah. I've said my thanks already. For your army, you would buy it on the condition that I painted it for you.
Yep.
And 3 years later, just about, I'm getting around to that slowly. You know, I've worked on it here and there. I would say, if you do the math, if you take the total number of minis that I've finished for your Death Guard army, including the Poxwalkers, and divide it by the number of years it's been since then, I'd say I'm getting a respectable, 3 minis done a year.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you were a junkie, but you know the telephone operators at the Plastic Crack Anonymous, 24-hour hotline might have something to say about that. But
It's to a point where I can call the Warhammer store and Vince will just recognize my number. And
oh, hey, Deacon.
yeah, there should generally, I think if you're going to a store for such a specific thing, specifically only Warhammer, and they just recognize you as soon as you start to call, that might be an issue, but
Yeah, you may have a problem.
it's not that bad because I don't only go there. I also go to Noble Knight, where
That's true.
most of the staff
Or
know
Misty
me,
Mountain Games
or
and
Misty
Diversions.
Mountain, where I
Yeah.
know a lot of the staff.
Exactly.
So
And they know you.
might
Where
have
everybody
a
knows your
bit of
name.
an issue.
Yeah. All right. With that, I am going to get started here.
I'm gonna get started too.
Oh,
Although
here's
I've kind of
what
screwed myself over. I did that fucking thing where it's like I was really looking forward to painting these guys. I was really looking forward to painting these guys tonight, and then I laid everything out on the
Whoa.
bench, and then I'm like, great, where do I start? Yeah, woohoo, yeah, you know.
You didn't catch that.
No.
I said, whoa, like in the Matrix, like, you're like, I was looking forward to starting these. I was looking forward to starting. There was a glitch, like you repeated it. It's like, it'll show up in the VOD and it'll be like, hey, wait a minute. There's a glitch in the Matrix.
That's probably the worst way I ever could have grabbed that, but
So here's where I normally stall, and that's getting creative with the color schemes on some of these tunics and pants and whatnot.
don't you normally just go for like a all leather kind of thing?
No, because sometimes it's cool to change things up a little bit.
Oh, Jesus. I think I'll start with this guy. He's looking pretty cool.
I
Just to
need
find where the
something
fuck I put my brushes.
red.
That's not remotely close to the right color.
So, other than our stream tomorrow night, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central, same bat channel. What do you have going on? Are you gonna you want to try to
Paint day.
You're not doing Crusade.
No crusade tomorrow. If I remember correctly, there's an event being run tomorrow there, so they're using the tables for that.
Ah, okay. That's the reason we wanted to go to Paint Day, huh?
No, I haven't been to Paint Day in a while.
Oh.
We were gonna go to the last Paint Day, if I remember correctly, but that was like, we called that off for some reason or other. I can't remember.
Got me. It's gonna be another one of those quiet Workbench episodes.
I'm being quiet because I fucked up this pretty bad, and I'm trying to go slowly.
Oh no, what happened?
It's not like a bad fuck it up where I like spilled color onto somewhere I've just spent like hours and hours and days and months glazing or whatever, but like there's this really, really fine like trim, I guess. It's a band of iron, it looks like, that's holding back this flesh, but I made the mistake of painting the flesh around it and then shading that flesh a bit before I painted the iron. So I'm trying to like go really slowly and paint in this iron without getting any onto the skin.
Got it.
So it's not bad. I really gotta focus on this because I don't want to have to repaint this.
Just a happy little goblin.
I know you can never really like replicate a good paint job exactly, but like I'm trying to do that really gross looking flesh again on the back of these blight drones.
Oh yeah.
Fetid bloat drones. Kind of like bloody and bruised and poxy, plague-ridden flesh. Which I am going to say I'll put pictures of up on the Instagram and then never do, so sometime if you're watching this out there in the 2500s and Instagram is still around, I'll definitely remember to put one up by then.
Well, you know what would be really cool is like if we just clean the table a little bit and set up a dio on the table, set up a diorama, and then
that would be cool.
Then we could get some good pictures.
One of these days, weeks, maybe months. Next year?
The one thing I decided I want to do, I don't know if I mentioned this before or not on stream or just in passing when we were talking during the week at any point in the recent past, I want to strip down. I started painting those.
Well, we'd have to change Twitch Twitch channel topics. If you want to do that.
Too mature.
No, to like bathtubs, beaches, and pools, or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, the hot tub stream.
Yeah.
That was funny when we were telling Zach that the other night. You could just do a hot tub stream. Anyway, strip down these Spanish Inquisition minis and
What's
start
that?
from scratch. Because
What?
I've got that red spray that I think will be better to base coat them, to prime them and base coat them with, and then build from there. Because I'm not really happy with that dark color that I have on there. I was kind of disappointed in those, or the way they were coming out.
That sucks.
It's entirely my fault for the paint scheme I used.
So, speaking of painting, which is what we were talking about, and also doing, funnily enough, I was watching this video the other day. No, that was, I think that was this morning that I was watching it. Just feels like the other day because I'm not used to getting up that early. But I was watching this video earlier today, and this guy he was talking about like how to paint this color scheme on these minis, and he was
The one that you're doing now, the color scheme you're doing now, or
No.
just a color
a
scheme?
color scheme on
Okay.
these minis. It was just painting stuff I had playing in the background. And he was saying like, he's talking about going to wash it, and he was saying like, you gotta make your mini, you gotta bring your mini up to an 11 before you wash it and bring it back down to a 10. And I was like, that doesn't seem right, you know? Because in my opinion, it's the wash that brings it to that 11. You know, it puts in all that detail.
I get
Really
what
kind of like,
I kind of get what it's saying. Like
yeah, like to like tone it down or whatever. But
people shit a brick when they do washing for the first time. Like a lot of the threads that I'm on, a lot of the forums I'm on, I see people ask about that all the time. Yeah, getting ready to try washing. Anything I need to know? And then you can always tell the noobs because they're like, don't do it. It'll darken your shit up. It's like silly
what you
rabbit.
highlight for.
Silly rabbit tricks are for kids. Because that's what brings out the highlights when you put that dark wash and it gets down into the crevices. Then you can build up from there. I mean, each their own. There are people, everybody has a different technique. Golden Demon level painters have a technique. Noobs have a technique. People in the middle have a technique. But there are some things that just fundamentally work.
Yeah.
And washes work. I mean, you gotta thin it and make sure that's a wash and it's not just a layer of paint.
I mean, so many now just come pre-thinned that you don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah, again, I'm kind of torn on that whole thing. Like,
why?
it makes it easier, but it's also more expensive. So there's a trade-off. Makes me feel a little lazy sometimes, like I'm cheating, because I can make a perfectly good wash, just as good as the ones that they're formulating.
I guess it depends on like what you're painting too. Like, I've made my own washes before for minis, and normally I'll do that if it's like a one-off color that I'm going to use to wash it with. But I mean, if you're painting an army, nothing beats pre-made washes.
Right, now you're talking like speed factor.
Yeah, because,
Production
well,
lining.
not even like speed, but consistency.
Well, speed, because you don't want to spend, at least I don't want to spend, an eternity painting the same color scheme over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah. but like the consistency factor of it, where it's like you're not gonna get, if you're mixing it, you're not gonna get that consistency and that
That's true.
transparency, watery level. I don't know, whatever the hell you'd call it. You're not gonna get that the same all the time. And the pre-made washes, or the pre-mixed, or whatever you want to call it, are really good for that. Oh, I hear ya.
We have our little game room mascot back this week. Zuzu. She's running around down here, wanting to get somebody's attention. Oh, kitty. Okay. Done there.
Also, I think with pre-made washes, I find at least, I just like the convenience of it rather than mixing my own, because you know, I can just buy a color and then have it there, and it may I'm trying to figure out how to say what I'm trying to say and have it make sense. It may be a one-off wash that I'm using, like I might only use it that one time on that mini, but then, you know, like a week later, hey, I could use it for this, and now you have to mix up more, you know? You have to do all that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Oh, here we go.
So,
Hi,
like, with this
Suzu.
pre-made wash, last night, I was painting some bruises on this skin, and a way that I really like to paint bruises is to paint your flesh tone, and then before you put your flesh shade over it, whatever you're going to use for, like, you know, your mid-tone or whatever, you put some purple wash over wherever you want the bruise to be, and you kind of spread it out, you know, make sure it's even, but it'll look bruised once you put the other wash over it. And it's nice to be able to just pull out a bottle, put a little bit in a palette, and then do that, and not have to worry about, like, oh, I need to, like, thin it out this much to get, like, this effect or whatever, you know?
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm not anti-pre-formulated, not by any
so you
stretch.
absolutely hate formulated washes, is what I'm gathering. You can't stand them.
I mean, look at my collection. Oh, wait, you do know what I have in my collection because you often use them. Nothing. She's down here trying to play with a charger cord.
That's not surprising. Oh, that's flesh. Ooh. How lovely. was about to start painting this, and I was like, huh, I wonder what the covering on this is. It's flesh. There's like a flesh tarp covering the top of this thing. It's gross.
Nice. It's a flesh tarp. So we have a mutual friend
Flesh tarp?
on Facebook who had a post the other day that effectively said, if you're in need of fresh skin, hit me up and I can hook you up. So I said, I wrote,
sounds illegal.
I wrote to her on her post and said, I need a yard's worth. I'm making some new dice pouches. And she said, I gotcha. So she PM'd me. She PM'd me and said, you should really look at this line of skincare products that I have because they're really good and like they revitalize. And I was like, I was kind of joking when I said I needed a yard's worth because I'm making new dice pouches. She goes, oh,
Ah, shit.
Speaking of skin pouches.
I see what I've failed to get ahead of time, get prepared ahead of time.
What's that?
Napkin. Oh, look at this. This is the use of this, by the way. For when I forget to get a napkin out ahead of time, little brush holder right on the pot.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. That's the only use that I've found for it so far. Oh, yeah. Right. Music, not allowed. No fun is allowed here.
Yeah. I know. I was gonna, like, after you said that, I was gonna do that classic funeral dredge or whatever that everybody does.
Yeah.
And I was
I heard you start that.
and then it was like, wait, that might even be trademarked or copyrighted or whatever.
Happy birthday is.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. Then I remembered, like,
Ridiculous.
fucking, you can't even sing happy birthday to anybody anymore because it's copyrighted. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I think I need to thin that down.
Well, by the time this is all done, you're gonna have one disgusting, beautiful, beautifully painted, but disgusting looking army.
Sweet.
Oh, I dry brushed it. Okay. I was trying to figure out, like, what did I do to make that other skin look the way it looks. And I was trying to figure out, like, it's got this,
Sacrifice the goat?
yeah, it's got this look to it, and I can't really place what it is. And I was trying to figure out, like, how did I do that? I looked closer at it, and I'm 90% sure I dry brushed it to get that look.
You were like, oh, it's actually human skin.
Yeah, that I shaved down and bound over this
Ew.
mini.
Like your nasty ass toe calluses and stuff.
No, not toe calluses. It's just human skin from one of the people in the backyard. Just kidding. Of the cats. Zuzu was kind enough to go out and hunt something for me. Isn't that right, Zoo?
She's a good huntress.
Yeah, see?
Deacon with the whistling.
Sorry.
It's tough.
It is really tough.
Oh my goodness, listen to her. What's up, honey? What's up, sweetie? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come up here. Come here.
Yeah, that's gonna be gross.
Come here. Come on. Zuzu, come on.
Look at
Zuzu.
that.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Look at that.
Oh yeah. Ugh. Come on. You're gonna make me get up. Oh my god. Oh, she's purring like crazy.
I can hear
now.
it.
Do you just know that it's that time of night when you want to be on camera? Over there? Look over there. What's over there, huh? What do you say? What do you say, good girl? So good, kitty. This is why I can't get anything done.
Yeah. You might want to close that paint too.
Yeah. Okay, Zuzu, I'm gonna put you down. Ready? There you go. That'll be good for like another 10 minutes.
What?
That,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
she'll be back. Meow, 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 meow.
There it is. What was that, 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, I should leave that to dry for a bit. That's gonna take a while because it's washed.
Just set it in front of that fan. It's sure doing a good job of drying my freaking paint out over here.
It's even blowing towards it.
Oh yeah, it is. I can feel it over here.
Alright, how am I gonna do this? How did I do this?
You know, you mentioned it earlier, like getting consistency and pre-mixed washes and it's funny because like I've tried over the decades to take notes. Like, this is the technique I used for this effect, or this is the technique I used for that effect.
Where did I put that paint?
It's
I feel
sometimes
ridiculous right now. Is it back here? Why is it back there? No, that's not it. What the heck?
what are you looking for?
This paint that I have, it's like oh, there it is. Hidden behind the water pot.
Anyway, what I was saying is, in terms of getting consistency, I've tried taking notes before. Keep a journal, keep a painting notebook. And of course, you know, you move, things get shuffled around. You're like, I don't need that. I remember how to do this. And then I was like, God damn it, how did I do that wood pattern? Or how did I do that particular tone of wood that I was doing?
Yeah.
This little bugger's tough. Getting down in here into the details of this thing underneath.
What are you painting?
It's this Gabo. He's just
No,
hunched.
I meant like what part of it are you painting that's really tough?
Just like the overhang, like he's hunched over, so trying to get underneath his chin, underneath where his hood is.
It hasn't been 10 minutes. You can go back for a bit. You'll be fine.
It's all good until she shits in your shoe.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to tell you, you bastard. Let me out. I gotta use the bathroom. Okay, I think I can hit that a little more. You ever just have paint come out chalky?
Yeah. Look at what I'm painting now.
I mean, I did thin layers on this, but
There she goes.
yeah,
There
as long as she
goes.
doesn't claw into my back, she's more than welcome to come up here. Suzu.
Get this so none of this water splashes on my minis.
You okay up there? Now you're gonna be like, you talking to her or me?
Oh, I'm doing that kind of cool plague mist thing. You know?
Is that the like COVID flavor for Sierra Mist this month?
Yeah.
Plague Mist.
Yep. That's it. Oh, motherfucker. Take one off of the score from minis that I said I'd completed for the Death Guard.
What's that?
This
Right.
guy. Try to hold it under my lamp so you can see it. I just noticed there's like few tentacles right on his leg that I didn't do. And it's not that big of a detail, but it's gonna annoy me.
Yeah, and it would annoy me too. But you notice how good I was about not saying anything about it. I just
did you
assumed
notice
you
it
were.
before?
Yeah, but I just assumed you
Oh.
were still painting stuff
You
on
should
it.
have pointed. Oh.
Well, because every time I point it out, like, oh, there's a spot here, there's a spot here, like, yeah, I know, yeah, I know, yeah.
Might as well do this while that guy's drying. Oh, motherfucker.
Let's see. I might do a nice purple on this guy.
You might or how?
I said, let me do a nice purple on this guy.
Oh, I completely misheard you then.
Good God, even with these things, I couldn't see the name because it was too far. I thought that said toxic balls. Toxic boils.
So that's a nice color. I've used that before.
Oozing purple.
It's also a nice color.
I want to do, yeah, but I want to do a lighter, that's a nice one, but that's dark. I want to do a lighter one and then like do a purple wash.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like a violet and then
Yeah.
darken it down with that.
Yeah, maybe I'll do this. Orc blood. She's, I don't know what she's doing on the chair behind me. What are you doing back there?
Oh, she's climbing.
Crazy mountain climber.
Yeah, she's like a little mountain goat.
Zuzu, you're forcing me out of my chair.
She's like, your chair? What do you mean, your chair?
Right? That's not a good sign. Well, shit, I should probably do some repair on that.
Oh my god, that scared the hell out of me. I thought one of the weapons on this Plague Burst crawler was broken, like it snapped in half,
Uh-huh.
and it had. And I realized, oh wait, yes, because we put a magnet in there.
Oh, yeah. I could see how that would be a little disconcerting.
Ow, fuck.
So stupid.
What did you do?
Well, I took my hat pin and I pushed the plug paint down into the bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, shit, I should probably like try to get that out of there, but it was too late. So as I turned the bottle over and squeezed the paint, ding, went right back into the
Yep.
plug. So,
That is pretty stupid.
well, at least this way I can probably get it out of there. Like now I can just take
Well,
the cap off. She seems to be quite content, stuck over here between my ass and the back of the chair.
oh my god, you should see the fur that she's left behind on the shirt that you have hanging on the back.
Well, I don't doubt it. So for anybody tuning in, if you're out there lurking, pop in.
Oh,
Pop into the
yeah,
chat.
we do have pop in that neither of us noticed. What's up, Chris? You played it. Oh, you.
Oh, jeez, Chris, I'm sorry, man. We didn't even notice you were out there. Like, we suck. We're not worthy.
Which painting? Dad is still painting goblins from. How long have we been streaming now? Almost a month? He's still painting the goblins that he started a month ago.
Well, no,
Well,
I was
started
working on the fawn
Oh,
army.
yeah, you were. That's what I was thinking of.
Yep, and I think I got
Yeah.
them sprayed.
Did you?
No, I didn't. They're still sitting here.
Shame. For shame.
Oh, come on now. Don't be hating.
I am painting his Death Guard army. Because he don't paint armies. So,
I heard somebody say that before.
yeah, I wonder who it could have been. I'm letting some of the pieces dry here before I move on to the next step, but... Oh, I should have probably tilted
We were
this out
just,
of the camera.
we were just giving your brother Aaron props earlier in the show. We were trying to make him a VIP, but apparently we need to be affiliated before we can do that. Chris might not even be there anymore. He might have said, "Screw you guys, you're not chatting with me." Man, I feel like a total jackass now. Come back, Shane. Alright, now let's see if I can get this plug out of here without screwing everything up. Ugh.
Oh, wow.
That's some straight up, like, my goth makeup has gone bad in the tube sludge right there.
I was gonna say, with the color of that, at least from the color under the light, that's some, like, blood clot shit.
Fuck, if your blood's that color.
Well, no, in the light that I'm seeing it under now, it looked kind of reddish, like a dark red almost.
I would go out tonight, but my blood is pretty clotted.
Yeah, that's that seems like it is an issue, very much an issue.
I would say so. If your blood's this color,
yeah. So
seek medical
Chris,
assistance
if
immediately.
If you're still in the chat,
I don't think he is. I think he bolted because, like,
oh jeez,
we were ignoring him.
yeah,
Or
maybe,
at least maybe he thought we were ignoring him. We
So
weren't
I'm
actually
working
ignoring
on,
him.
I'm working
We
on
were too stupid to realize, like, hey,
this guy.
neither one of us
here.
pulled up the chat on the stream here on the side.
It's never gonna work.
Because we've been busy little beavers here working on minis.
On this guy here, Typhus. And it's getting all sorts of washed out from that. And this nasty looking drone thing.
Well, that's pretty good. You can see that. That's getting a little washed out, but
Yeah. I'm still really happy with how the blending turned out on Typhus. Especially around the top.
so I'm going to bring it up again because it'll come up. But pictures for Instagram. What do you think? Like,
I think
you
that
don't, you don't. What's interesting is, like, you seem like you're sort of a in progress photo taker because I see you posting on the 40K boards. Like, here's what I'm working on right now. And it's work in progress.
I am. I do take a lot
No, oh no, kitty on the bench, kitty on the bench.
Kitty on the bench.
No. Oh, honey. Oh, no, sweetie. You gotta go. Shit. That's why. Yep. It's all good. I got it. It's alright.
Little paint bench emergency there. Kitty got up on the bench, knocked a soda over.
That should be a Twitch award right there. What Twitch badge did we unlock there, Deacon?
Achievement unlocked. Have an animal ruin your day.
Oh, she didn't ruin anybody's day. You're such a bastard. Why do you hate the kitty? There, see? All clean. Alright, can I hand you that to put in the trash bin? Thanks.
Did my box of Marines get wet? Yes, it did. Oh well.
It did, but I mean, come on. It's like plastic.
Valuable plastic.
How about if I just move that over there?
What, like right where she jumped up?
No, she went over that way.
Oh.
I don't know where she thought she was going. There's like no room there, you know. Maybe she was trying out that, you know, if I fits, I sits. Okay. Now, back to our regularly scheduled. What the fuck was I doing?
Oh, I hear you over there, little spiller of drinks.
Methinks thou doth protest too much.
Let's check this out.
Nice.
Yeah, doing that.
I really like that effect.
I figured that's probably cooler looking than just clouds of black smoke, you know. Much more Death Guard.
It depends on, yeah, but I was gonna say it depends on how you do them too, like, because clouds of black smoke could be cool.
Yeah. I suppose I'll work on Typhus a bit here. And use his own little paint. Typhus Corrosion.
Oh my god, you know, I totally want to sing, you know what I want to sing, don't you?
Nope.
Sisters of Mercy.
Oh, yeah.
Paint Typhus Corrosion on me. Hey now, hey now.
If you have a second, or when you have a second, could you hand me a Q-tip?
Yeah, sure thing. Give me just a moment. One moment.
So you know what's really cool?
What's that?
I didn't even know we had Q-tips down here. I figured, you know, hey, I'll ask. And if we don't have them, then he'll say, like, I don't know if we have those. But if we do, then he'll just be like, yeah, give me a sec. And I don't even have to ask if we have them. So, trying out what you were telling me a while ago now.
Oh, yeah.
Just assume that we have, like, every painting supply known to man.
We do have an awful lot of hobby goods. Like,
I don't think there's anything under there, Zeus.
it's the kind of, like, I like to have that stuff on hand because you never know, like, when you're going to need it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably need it now. Give me just a moment.
Yeah, I do. Kind of treating this like an oil wash.
Okay, let me wash this. Where did I put them? That's the question.
It's a good question. What the hell are you doing, Zeus?
You sound, oh, you're breaking into full on Hank Hill. Bobby, what the hell are you doing, boy?
That's kind of what I was going for.
Yeah, look at that. Q-tip.
I'll take both.
Both?
Yeah, I'll bring some more down in just a minute.
Gotta refill that.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Really dropped one.
Alright. So to our dear friend Christopher, please accept our most humble and sincere apologies. We did not mean to blow you off there. I just genuinely forgot to
Check chat.
flip my window and check chat, which is really bad. You know,
Do I know? What do I know?
you know.
Go. Too small. Oh, actually, no, that's perfect. There's my fucking brush cap. I've been looking for this thing.
Dude, I find those damn things all over the place. Your brush caps.
Me too.
So, episode 15, we're only 10 away from 25 episodes, which is kind of a little milestone, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is on Twitch, but for us, that's pretty remarkable. What should we do for... We should make some plans for these big episodes like that. Episode 25, episode 50, episode 75.
So I'm thinking going in order from 25, 50, 100. I don't do 75 because that's kind of, I don't know. So 25, 50, 100. I'm thinking, oh my god, Zuzu. Oh my gosh, I know.
Why don't you let her out?
Alright. I'm thinking,
Or open the door.
what do they call them?
Just
what?
let her out,
I
and then...
know, that's what I'm doing. Okay. Those eating streams, what do they call them, mukbangs or whatever? Where you just get insane amounts of food. And then episode 50 is the hot tub stream. No, episode 50 is the ASMR stream. And then episode 100 is the hot tub stream.
I'm not licking a fucking microphone.
I didn't say you had to lick a microphone. You could just be like, have the microphone right into your face, like, I'm just gonna grab this color here, gonna paint a little line on his robes. Ah, fuck. Just like, painting ASMR. It's just the noise of like the brush on the mini, and occasionally hit the paint shaker. Just have it go like,
And then like
yeah.
breathing in the microphone like a fucking pervert.
Oh, you gotta pause every now and then for like when you just hold your breath for like 30 minutes trying to do like a single dotted black on the eyes without screwing it up.
30 minutes, huh? Hold your breath for 30 minutes. I love it.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm down.
It's 10.
Get out.
I shit you not, it is actually 10:02.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did the time go?
Forward.
No, it went behind us.
No, I mean, like, time is constantly moving forward. Yeah.
Is it? Or is it moving behind us?
Well, it's actually moving forward, and the past is moving behind us.
But what is time?
Time is moving forward. Yeah.
That's one way of perceiving it.
No.
Well, shoot. Here we find ourselves at the end of another episode. I just can't believe it went by that fast.
Yeah, that and the fireside part.
I could go for a little while longer, but you probably don't want to do that, do you?
I'm not sure. I could keep painting, is the thing, but I think if I keep painting without music, something is gonna die. You know?
Oh my goodness.
I miss music.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what we could do?
What's that?
We could, for the painting segment, for listening to music during that, we could both wear soundproof headphones and just have music playing really loudly into that, and then have little microphones on them so we can talk to each other as well. But it goes through the headphones, so we can still listen to music.
You know, I kind of thought about that, but I think I'd get distracted.
I think it'd be a bad idea.
Would you don't think what?
I said I think it would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Cause like
But
one,
it's an idea.
yeah, but I mean, cause like one, we're just sitting here, like not even 5 feet away from each other, talking into a microphone because we've got music playing over the headphones that we're wearing, even though we're right next to each other, you know?
Sure.
And also, if we are listening to music, you know we're gonna like slip up and just start singing along.
Oh, yeah. And the next thing you know, they're kicking our front door down, serving us with the
DMCA, open
DMCA.
up.
And there's a leather daddy and a construction worker and a cop and a native.
This took a turn.
Well, yeah, then they start singing DMCA.
Oh.
I know, I'm tired.
It took me a minute.
I'm in pain and I'm tired.
It took me a minute.
It took everything in my soul, every fiber of my being, not to sing that too.
Yeah. I was close.
Ah, you bastard. Like, always, always, always. Okay. Well, I think I could stop here probably
All right.
if you want to do that.
Sure.
So, for those of you who tuned in, thank you. Chris,
Yeah.
our apologies again. I owe you a beer.
If we see you tomorrow, we will be sure to apologize in person. If we see you at Misty sometime, if you guys are up there playing Legion, we'll apologize then, and also pick up a Legion army so that we can play.
No, you
Yes.
can.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not.
we
I'm
are.
not getting
No,
another.
Oh yeah, yes
No,
we are.
no, don't
Yeah,
include we in that. I'm not having any part of that. Thanks for tuning in. Check us
Yeah.
out on Instagram at Black Dragon Tavern Online. Obviously, you know about our Twitch page if you're here watching us, but check out our About page on Twitch because we have a link to YouTube there.
And Discord.
And Discord.
And Discord.
We have just a hot mess of a URL for YouTube because we need to get 100 followers before we can get a vanity URL. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone you know. Tune in on YouTube to watch the Black Dragon Tavern. And then what else? We're on Facebook, and that's simply Black Dragon Tavern. We're on Twitter, and that one's a little weird. That's Tavern_Black. So at Tavern_Black. And I think that's all the socials. Thanks for watching. Tune in tomorrow night. If you're bored, we will be here from 8 to 10. We're going to be playing Memoir 44 by Days of Wonder.
Yeah.
8 p.m. Central to 10 p.m. Maybe run a little longer depending on how the game goes.
Aside from that,
You got anything else you want to say before we shut the stream off?
not that I can think of.
All right.
I'd keep an eye on the Instagram because I do actually want to put up some pictures of this stuff.
Yeah, just do it.
I'm gonna try to remember because I
Alright.
have to send them to you first.
Make like a famous shoe company and just do it. Thanks everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
See you soon.